All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us, as you always do. I'm Warren Flax, the owner of Silver Brush Limited, and I am not in our normal Clearwater, Florida studios. I'm here in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the Paint and Craft Expo here in the Chattanooga Convention Center. And I want to thank you all for joining us from wherever you are around the world. We have a lot of fun stuff to show you here today. First of all, if you're looking on the screen, you can see above me these two lovely ladies, Cruz and Carla Jessee, who are related. I'm sure they'll explain to us how that works. And they're going to do a great demo for us, as they've been doing here at the show throughout the week. And they're going to continue to do so. These are some excellent teachers, some of the many teachers here at this event. So first of all, how are you guys doing? I'm going to come over here, by the way, so you can see we're in the same place. So
Yeah, we are.
I
Hi.
just don't want to crisscross our microphones. So how's the event been so far for you all?
We've had a blast.
Been a lot
We've
of
met
fun.
really nice people from all over the country, and they've been doing some beautiful paintings, so we're excited.
Yeah. It's
Good.
been a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to get to that in a minute. I want to show everybody, though, a little bit of what's going on here at the expo. So first of all, here's the Silver Brush booth. Okay. And it's pretty quiet right now because most of the classes are still in session. But if you're anywhere near Chattanooga, I just want you to know about some of the deals we have going on. Okay, so everything at this red table is at closeout prices. So these items are being sold for $1, maybe $2, and we still have a little bit of stuff left. Just in a day and a half, we've already sold a bunch of it. So certainly, if you can get to this event, we're here all day today until 7 o'clock Eastern time, tomorrow from 9 until 6, and then Saturday from 9 to 2. So this is a great event they've put on, a lot of great classes. A lot of the students have come by and expressed to us how much they've enjoyed it. We have amazing deals on a lot of stuff here. 40 off, only here at the show. That's not something that's typically done online. So we have the Silver Scrubbers. The Monza is here at the show. Bristlon, Golden Natural, Black Velvet, something new that I'll tell you about in a minute. The Wash and Blend, the mops, Ruby Satin, Silver White, and Silver Silk. And you can see there's all sorts of great decorative art things available here at the show. They've done an amazing job putting this together. We're going to talk about watercolor brushes in a minute. This is a brand new item from Silver Silk that we've just launched. We just got stock of it in our warehouse in Clearwater, Florida. That's the Bell Aqua series. But what I'd like to do, oh, and the other thing, of course, as you all know, let us know in the chat where you're joining us from, and um, we're going to give away some stuff. So you all are working with a couple of series, and we're going to give away a couple of sets as well. I believe these, right? These Silver Silk mini mops. So we're going to give away two of these. So let us know where you're from on Instagram, on Facebook, and we'll pick winners here in a little bit whenever we wrap up. So why don't you guys tell me a little bit about the work you've been doing and what it is that you want to show?
Um, Teaching acrylics here and watercolors. We paint differently, but we are mother and daughter. And she's been painting with me since she was 8. And the first brush she ever had in her hand was a silver brush, so she knows the quality of the brushes. So what we wanted to share with you
That's how
today.
young we know you are.
Yes, very young.
So we want to share with you today how we use our brushes in our paintings and how versatile silver brushes are for either acrylics or watercolors or oils. We're not going to do oils today, just acrylics and watercolors, but it gives you an idea of what are the things that you can do with these brushes. So Carla will start with the Ruby Satin, which is one of my favorites too. And you want to tell them what you're going to do with your Ruby Satin?
Yeah. So I'm going to do a gnome. And what I love about this is the round 8 in the ruby satin. I just love the fact that like it holds its pigment. You don't have to use too much water. And then it just glides. Like it takes the paint and just glides right onto your painting. And no matter what canvas you're using. I started off painting on wood with mom, and now I am onto canvas, and it just glides. I don't know how else to, like, it's smooth, holds the paint, very little water. And I mean, just great quality too.
Can I ask you, Carla? So that
Yeah.
you raise an interesting point there about surfaces.
Surfaces.
Mhm.
So wood,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then you said canvas. Did I
Mhm.
hear that right?
Yeah,
Pretty different,
they
right?
are very different. Yes.
So, I mean, why would you use this tool for both? And how does it impact that, in terms of the ruby satin?
Great question. So when I'm painting on wood, wood takes a little bit more paint, right? Just because there's more for it to soak into. And so the color is still strong, quality is still good. Um, but with a canvas, your canvas is a smoother surface than a wood canvas, right? And so when I have more than one favorite brush, just so y'all know, but this is the one I'm using today. I never have to worry about when I'm using like on my wood surfaces, I don't have to worry about I'm going to have to get like a ton of paint on my palette to be able to paint onto the surface. Just because I know that this is going to hold the paint, it's going to be vibrant. And I honestly prefer painting on canvas more so than I do on wood. Wood is great, but I love canvas more. So, yeah. So, go ahead.
Maybe Warren has another question.
Do you have another
that's great.
question? Yeah. Okay.
So you're using an acrylic now, right?
Yes, I'm using
Okay.
acrylic. I love
Not a canvas.
acrylics. Yes,
Mhm.
acrylic is my favorite medium. I am not a watercolor person. I like to have control of my colors, where mom does not. Mom wants to be loosey goosey, as I say, so, which is why these brushes are so versatile. You can use any of the mediums,
Right.
and they're going to work great no matter what medium you use. But acrylic is definitely my preference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. So, gonna do this. I'm just gonna do a little bit of the hat just so that you can see how it just doesn't really take that much. And then I'm gonna clean my brush and I'll show you how I do use this same brush and just do a beard with several different colors.
So do you mostly work with beginners in terms of your students?
Yes, most of my students are beginners. I do have some that have, experience with painting, but most of them are beginners. And so I don't show them anything else other than the best, because I mean, if we're getting them introduced into, painting, we want them to, it's an investment. You don't want them to walk out with like something they're not so much satisfied with, right? You have to have the right tools, no matter what it is that you're using, right? No matter what tools, when it's, doing housework, painting, you need the right tools to be able to, have a good project. And so I'm always showing them silver brushes because of all the reasons that I had said before. It just also makes teaching a lot easier as well, because you're not having to struggle with the brush and the paint and stuff like that. So yeah.
No, that's great. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
So what's the benefit of an event like this, where everyone gets together, there's classes all week long?
How is that something that you guys, I mean, why did you guys choose to participate in it? This is a new show. It's never existed before.
I hope that they do the show again next year. I've been painting for 40 years and teaching for 40 years. And my main goal in life is to show people the love of painting. You don't have to be a professional painter. You can just paint for fun. Nobody says that you have to paint a Picasso and sell it for $5,000. But if you're at home and you paint and you're satisfied with your painting, and you see that when you finish the class, you go home with a beautiful work of art, they'll go home and want to paint another one. And
I want to
that's
know
what
where
we
you
like
get
to do.
those $5,000 Picassos.
That was back in the day.
Can't tell our
Do
secret.
pretty well. Flipping paintings. It's a totally different show.
All of a sudden.
I know, right? But this is a great show for people to come and learn from many teachers that come here, and they all have different styles. Some of watercolors, acrylics, colored pencils. So there's something for everybody. And if you don't want to continue on that path, at least you can come here and try it out and see if it's something you want to pursue down the road.
Okay. So we have a couple of fans here in the audience. Maybe
Yes.
Turn us around. And we can talk to these young ladies here. So have you guys been taking classes here
at the show?
I just went to shop today.
There you go. So this is the best kind of audience right here. You only brought the money, so this is the way you want to do it, people. Just come straight to the silver brush booth with your money. You don't have to do anything else. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. That's perfectly acceptable, just so you know. How about you guys? You taking classes?
I've taken 2 classes the last 3 days and another couple
And Gene, where are you here from?
from Jackson.
Jackson, Tennessee. Okay. How far away is that?
It's about almost 4 hours.
Oh, 4 hours. Okay, so not a hop, skip, and a jump. Thank you. All right, great. And how's it been so far?
I've enjoyed taking a number of classes and different techniques and mediums just to explore this knowledge.
Okay. So different techniques. Tell me about that. Like some examples.
It's really should be, you can use for landscapes. You can use for landscapes, decorative decor, uh, fabric painting. Um,
Oh, look at that. There you go.
you can use it in so many different ways. And so when you take classes, I often will choose a class in something that I haven't experienced just for the experience of it and see if I want to incorporate that into my day-to-day painting.
Very nice. Well, thank you. And
Hi.
you, young lady?
Hi, yeah, young. Yeah, I've been taking classes. Took one from Chris the other day, and she painted a giraffe in a way that I never would have painted a giraffe.
Hold on, I'm just going to flip this around.
Okay, Becky,
So
I'm
this-
from Memphis, Tennessee.
Becky from Memphis. Okay,
On the
great.
West Coast, west
Yeah.
of Tennessee. But it's fun because you get a chance to take from teachers you would never take from in a million years because they're not in the area where you live, and you get to take from and learn different styles. And in places like this, I don't know much about silver brushes, and that's what I'm here to learn about: different brushes to use and different techniques. So it's fun.
And every 2 weeks, we're on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
So
Now that I know.
get to that as well.
All right, so what are we working on here?
So she's working on
Yeah.
that, and I'm going to show you how to use one of my favorite brushes. I discovered this brush a while back, and it's the line of it is called Monza, Monza. It's supposed to be used for glazing, a little bit of glazing, but for those of you who know how I paint, I try to experiment with paints and do different things. So this brush is great for watercolors and acrylics. So I'm going to show you a demo doing it with acrylics and watercolors so that you can see how versatile the brush is. So for example, I have this flower here and I'm going to do acrylics first. So I'm going to take my yellow paint and mix a little bit of white with it. And I'm almost painting dry, and it holds the paint really good when I mix it. So I'm going to come here and just paint my little flower, right? And I'm going to side load my brush with a little bit of a darker color. And if you notice, I didn't have to rinse my brush in between strokes. Hello, another one of my students. How are you?
Good.
So,
She could do that upside down just as well as she can right side up.
so then you can blend it really good, right? And I haven't even rinsed my brush. I have just gone from one paint to the other. I just wiped my brush on my paper towel and I'm going to highlight. And it just blends really, really good. It says glaze, but I say blend. I think they should change the name of it. So now I'm going to show you how to do it with watercolors, right? So everybody's always so afraid of watercolors and what brush should I use. So I'm going to do a red, even though the flower is yellow, it doesn't matter. So with watercolors, what's good about it is if you don't put a lot of water in the watercolors, it almost works like an acrylic, but it gives you a glazed look. So if I take my red here, right, and put it on my flower, you can't tell which one is watercolor and which one is acrylic from the other. This is watercolor paper. Yeah, just regular watercolor paper, nothing special. And again, with the watercolors, I can double load without a problem. I tap it on my paper towel and a little bit more. I'm gonna come here and just put some paint on it. And the chisel edge of this brush is so sharp that you can actually do lines with it. If you want to do squiggly, so you want to do a ribbon, you can do it with this. But this one has a little sister brush, okay? Save the best for last, okay? This one is called a short round. But what I like about it is the shape of it is so different from any other rounds, even the ruby satin. It's a little bit different in texture. So what I like about it is that this area here can retain a lot of paint, but the tip of it is so thin that you can just use a little bit of it, and because the paint stays in here, it could blend even on the tip without having to do so much work. So let's do another petal here. So I have my yellow, right? And I'm going to go into this little corner and with my little tip, very, very small, okay, and work it out. And then I can take my brush almost like on its side and just rub it on my petal here. And I'm painting without having to do stroke work. So I'm just coming here and painting, and then I'm going to take a little bit of my brown paint here, and I'm going to come right on the edge here, tap my brush to release the paint. I'm going to wipe it a little bit, and again, because the point is so, I'm going to do it slow so you can see it. It just blends your paint something beautiful, and I don't have to work so hard, you know. So this you can also use this with watercolors. So if I went here and I took some yellow from my watercolors and I just lay it on its side like this, it does a really good coverage. So I can take another color and just blend it in here, right? And the tip, I can go right into this little corner if I want to. Wipe my brush again. I'm not rinsing it. And I'm just very softly blending my paint. And isn't it a cool brush? I mean, I just think it's really great. And doing the classes this week, I had some of my students try this brush. And whoops, there's a little fly in here. Go away. So that's what I like about the Monza brand. Even though I use a lot of the brushes, ruby satin and everything like that, but this week I wanted my students to try these and see how they worked, and they just loved it. And it's a really hardy brush. I mean, you can. I've had this brush now for probably 3 years, and I teach an average of 3 or 4 classes a week. And I always, my students use silver brushes when we're in class. And this brush looks brand new. You cannot, abuse this brush in any way, shape, or form. And if you just wanted to do a straight line or do some liner work, I just can come here with my chisel edge and do a really fine line with this edge here. So it's so sharp. None of the little hairs, float away. They just stay nice and shape and in place.
So we have a couple of questions here. Well, one's a comment. It said Cruz is the best teacher. So it's nice to know that your family's all, tuning in here, Chris. It's very good. Way to stack the deck here. That's well done. I appreciate that. Chris and I go way back.
Yes.
So I like this question. Can you use the same brush for acrylic as for watercolor?
Yes, that's what in the beginning, I said, yeah, you can use it for acrylics or watercolors.
Very nice.
Oh, and let me add something to that. As most of us, when we paint, we have our watercolor brushes and we have our acrylic brushes, right? And we don't mix them. I mix. I paint you saw me. I just paint the same with watercolor and acrylic back and forth, and it doesn't make a difference in the brush. So I don't have to have 2 separate sets. I can use this one and interchange them, and it works fine.
Do you host online classes or just in person?
I do in person, but I do. I have a YouTube channel, Cruz Designs, with over 70 videos that I use my silver brushes with. Just so
Chris,
that
say
you
it
know,
slowly. Chris Cruz
Chris
Design
Cruz
on
Designs
YouTube.
on
Mhm.
YouTube, and there's over
Okay.
70 videos with different silver brushes that I
Very nice.
use for painting.
All
And
right.
then they can order the kits on my website if they want to paint along with me.
So is G Silver there? I'm trying to
Yes,
get her.
I'm here.
Oh, we can hear you, Mom. How are you?
All right, how are you? I'm watching
Oh,
and I'm enjoying watching Chris and her daughter Carla. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm here and I'm enjoying this very much. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you in my earpiece. They
Oh,
can't hear you. So if you have any questions for them, let me know, and I'll pass them along.
okay.
Did you have anything you wanted to add, or you're
No,
just a
I'm
spectator today?
enjoying watching the demonstration and showing exactly what you can do with Monza. I think that's
Yeah,
really important.
yeah, very nice. All right. Well, everybody wants to thank you, Mom, for designing the brushes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Dee.
you, Dee.
And we've actually had quite a few people here in Chattanooga who asked who said that, so we can share that for sure. So thank you. So, all right, Mom, chime in at any point if you have any questions. All right. You can get back to what you were
Okay.
doing. Go right
So you
ahead.
want
Sorry to
to?
interrupt.
Well, I
That's
was
fine. We'll
gonna
go
see
back and
if
forth.
you wanted to try using the round brush. You're not gonna mess this up. Come on. I know you want to. You want to
Okay,
do
well,
so?
come
Come
on
on.
over
Come and
here.
do the watercolor. Yes.
And I'll move out of the way so you can try it.
Yes.
That's the whole idea. That you
Yes.
try
Come
it.
sit down. Yes.
Go ahead.
Come try one, Fonda.
You want it? So come on. Here, you can come sit down right here. Did you want to try one? Okay. So here, you can sit right here. And you can do some of the beard.
Did you
can
rinse
do
it
some of
out?
the hat,
No, I
You just
didn't.
the nose. You can do whatever you want.
See how nice and
I
smooth
like
that
that.
is?
Yeah.
So,
Now, what if you run out?
You run out, you pick up some more paint.
so for what would you like to?
I'll just add to
Would you
some
add
of your
water?
I
gray.
love that.
No.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit of
Look how much
the
coverage
dark-
with this
Yeah,
one.
right
And you
there.
mixed it with the
Brush.
white.
I did. Yeah. So just grab a little bit. Yep. And then you're just gonna take some of the
like
white
it.
and
Right?
kind of just blend
Yeah.
it and see how sharp that tip is. And so now, go ahead. You might need to add just a little bit more blue, but at least this is giving you the feel of it and how it just glides.
I like it.
Yeah, she
I'm
likes
used to
it.
painting with water.
You're a good salesman, Chris.
See? So how does it feel? Like,
It
do you
feels
feel like
really-
it just
it feels
glides?
good, Yes.
Right? Like you don't have to work hard.
And
That's
this,
something
you
that
use
my
this
mom
with
has always
acrylic
said.
and
And
Like, let's
watercolors,
work
both
smarter,
of them.
not
So I
harder.
can use with acrylics
And we shouldn't be
watercolors.
struggling to
And
use
this one
brushes.
has they have a really small one of these that I use for eyes. Like if I'm painting a cat or a giraffe or something like that,
You can keep
the
going.
little one works great for detail work.
You
Can
can
I add
add
water
some.
to your
whole
brush?
Yeah,
Monza
absolutely.
line
Go
is
ahead.
detail.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
short handle Monza. Those
it's
are all short
awesome.
length out. So you were asking about reloading the brush, but that is going to be more common with that Monza because it's a short length out. There's less of
I
filament
like
to
the
the
way
head.
it feels.
Let me see what I find.
Now without even
That's real
rinsing,
good,
you can
doesn't
pick
it?
up a little
Yeah.
bit of the other paint.
And I even use
And
that
just
brush to do like
shade it on the
outlining.
side.
Like I
There you
would go
go.
back and outline this in like a black because the
I'll
tip
give
is
me
just
to
so
do.
fine.
I don't want to mess up your painting.
I
Yeah.
like them.
You like some?
You just shaded.
It's called a
with that
glaze.
brush.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yes,
I
you
just
did.
shaded.
That's awesome. It looks great.
Does
How you
really
like it,
well.
So many
Does
different
really
things.
well.
You just shaded. We
Uh-huh.
just did the beard. I also use it to
I
outline.
like them.
And that's just with the one.
So what's the biggest size that comes in?
What's the biggest size that this one comes in?
Now, I have
on?
the mop
The
brushes.
Do you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
really like the
Short
little mop
round.
brushes.
Awesome.
So we have a question asking if these brushes are natural hair or synthetic. These two are both synthetic. So the Monza is 100% synthetic, and the Ruby Satin is 100% synthetic. That's a good question.
Okay.
And Warren, what was the largest size that the Monza round comes in?
The round, I have to check. I don't know if that's a 10 or a 12. I think it might be the 12.
You can do the one.
Yeah, I'll explain to you in a minute how I did it. And I'll tell you what mistake I made later.
It's a 12.
Are you
12.
right-handed or left-handed?
What size do you have there?
Oh, this is
I have
exciting.
an
Okay.
8, I think.
2 left hands. I
Two
love
left
this.
hands.
12. Just to
This
show
is a
the
12,
difference.
just so that you can see the
Oh, I see.
difference.
Okay. Yeah,
See that?
I like them really well.
So you
You want to
can.
try the watercolor
If you
one?
wanna
It's
do the
nice.
beard.
Fonda, you want to try the watercolor? You should. It's really nice.
You want the watercolor?
Oh.
Yeah. So let's get the watercolor. So you can try the watercolor with that brush.
So if you're just
If you
tuning
wanna
in
use
from
that one,
home and you're wondering
absolutely.
what
This
in the
is
world
short
is going
round. It's
on
really
here,
nice.
Yeah.
The short one. Yeah,
I'm
the short
Warren
round.
from Silver Brush. Dee Silver's my mom. She's back home
Had a real good
in
point.
New Jersey, and I am here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
You make me
at
take
the
over your seat.
No,
Satin
you're fine.
Expo.
You're fine.
We're at the Chattanooga Convention Center all week long through to Saturday, and we are with one of our outstanding Silver Brush educators, Cruz, and her daughter Carla, and they now have some of their outstanding students who are actually working and learning as we move here. So this is a real live class that you're sitting in on. And we'll try to make it as interesting for you as possible, but this is what it really looks like when our teachers and students get together. I hope this is helpful for you. Please type in questions because I can ask everybody questions and try to get your questions answered as soon as possible. We're going to give away some brushes here in a little bit. And if you happen to be anywhere near Chattanooga, Tennessee this week, we'd love to see you. Come on by, see us here at the show.
Very nice, and you're using watercolors with it.
Oh, there we go. Alexander Cruz.
Oh, not a relative, that's for
talented
sure.
artist, yeah.
Not a
Alexander's
relative.
tuning in. He's down there in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
he says
me.
hello.
Oh, hi. What town? What town are you from?
Oh, Alex, what town are you in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's in Rio Piedras or San
Oh,
Juan or
Rio
somewhere.
Piedras. I'm from Bayamón.
Okay, well, we'll see. I'll type it in.
Saludos.
Let's see. He uses them for his original oil paintings. Yeah.
Well, if he does oil paintings, the
Bayamón.
Monza. Oh, Bayamón, that's my hometown, Villa Contessa. Hi. I started out as an oil painter, believe it or not, and my style of painting is more of an oil painter, and the Monza brush is perfect to do that because you can blend with the acrylics as if you were using oils, so you don't need to use oils.
I know what you're talking about. I've got a watercolor version.
Alex says Bella Vista.
Ah, Bella Vista, that's not too far from me, so.
I like that. I was going to probably get a short round.
It's just
Escuela y Galería de Artes Cruz.
All right.
See, then I can order it.
Share some pictures with us.
absolutely. Yeah.
Do they make travel?
See how pretty that brush was? I
They
just
do
love it.
have-
She's
and if
getting really into it. Look at this.
Yeah, but I like the kind that come apart. Have you ever seen those that fit inside?
Yeah, they do have those little short the white ones.
Yes.
That are.
How do you like it?
I like it. I like the control.
Right?
Well,
I would still like my little travel thing.
But I have some actually.
That's the right. So Olivia Bowen's asking, do you ever use these brushes for oils?
I don't do oil painting, but you can use them for oils. But me personally, I don't do oil paintings, but a couple of my fellow artists use them for oils, and they work just perfect with oils.
So you said you started out as an oil painter. Why did you choose to switch?
When I started painting, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had my daughter Carla, and I just couldn't take all those smells of the turpentine. Back then it was turpentine. I don't want to say how long it was, but it gave me headaches. So when I discovered acrylics and I could do the same thing with them, I said, well, this is a little bit healthier. So I started with acrylics, but my style of painting is more of an oil painter. So that's why I like
So
that
when you
with
say
these
that, what does
brushes.
that mean? My style is more like an oil
I
painting.
like to
Describe that.
load my brush with paint. And some of the not so good acrylic brushes cannot hold that much paint when you're painting. What I like about these brushes is, as you saw, I didn't put any water in my brush, which most acrylic people do. They load their brushes with water and then paint. Well, what I like to do is have my brush semi-moist, but not, totally wet. And then I can put 3 or 4 layers of paint on my brush without even rinsing it and keep blending my colors in there. And then when it has too much, then I can rinse it out and start all over. But it gives me better blending techniques when I do it that way, which I cannot achieve if I did it, just putting water and paint on a canvas. I can just go almost dry with this and get the same effect. And people can't tell if it's an acrylic, oil, or, and even the watercolors. Now that this is here, you can't tell apart which one is watercolor and which one is acrylic, right? I mean, they look like they could be the same. So you can interchange with watercolors or acrylics. So a lot of times, if I do an artwork in acrylics, I'll make a little sample in watercolor and give it to some of my students as a gift, as a thank you gift. And I just switch palettes. That's all I do, but I don't switch paintbrushes. I use the same paintbrush.
As long
See?
as it's water based, that's great.
Yeah, yeah, and it works great. It works great. And as you can see, when the ladies started using the brushes, now they can't put them down. They just want to keep using them.
That's why they're here. That's great.
Yeah.
Good to see. All right. Let's see if we have any more questions. So here's a good one. So after working with acrylic with these brushes, is it enough to rinse them only with water?
Yes. Yes. If you take care of your brushes, like I said, these brushes are 3 years old. And I would have to say, an average, I teach maybe sometimes 2, 3 times a week. And my students all use my brushes in class. Silva is very generous and has been nice enough to, give me the brushes. And after 3 years, they still look brand new. I can't tell if this is one of my brushes that I use with my students or that I use myself. They're very hardy. They just hold up really, really good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's just and the ruby satin that Carla was using is the same way. She does a different kind of acrylic painting, but it did her coverage all in one stroke.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think we should give away some free brushes. How about that?
Oh, I think so too. I
Okay.
think so too.
All right. I'm just looking in there. All right. So these are, like I said, we're going to give away 2 of these sets, and let's see if I can find our winners. Here we go. The first one is from Chelsea, Alabama, Sandy W. Johnson. Your
Sandy Johnson, I
state.
teach in Chelsea, Alabama. You better come to one of my classes. I teach at the.
Don't mess with Chris. Let me tell you, that was not planned, but let me tell you. All right,
You gotta
you're in the
come to a
crosshairs
class.
now, Sandy. I'm not going to give her your address, Sandy.
No.
I promise. If you direct message us your address, we'll send you the brushes, but we won't send Chris to your
No,
house.
just check out the Chelsea Community Center. I have a class there in July.
There you go. All right. Our second winner, a little further away. Chris is going to have to fly to this one in Munich, Germany. Oksana Kuzmina. So, Oksana, thank you for joining us today. And you also win one of these wonderful sets. I don't know how close Munich is to Berlin, but we have a wonderful retailer in Berlin. Peter's Art Supply in Berlin, Germany. And they ship all through the country of Germany. So certainly you can get your stuff there. So congratulations to you, Oksana. Anything else, ladies, you want to share?
I
before
just
we
say
let these
give it a
fine folks
try.
go?
If you're really thinking about trying, I tell my students all the time, try one, paint with it, learn how to use the brush. The main thing about painting, people think, paintbrushes, you need to know how to use them. And if you just keep practicing and using the brush and it feels good in your hand and you can make it do what you want it to do, then start getting other brushes from the same line. And before you know it, I mean, you can do, like I said, acrylics, watercolors with the same brushes. And these are 3 years old and they're brand new. I mean, they just last. They don't, you can't kill these brushes.
Well, that's pretty new. We have folks who bring us ruby satin, especially their brush that they got in the 1990s that they'll still bring to a show like this to show us. The handle will usually be pretty worn, but the head still works fine.
Yeah.
So these definitely are a great investment. Remember what my mom always says: the most expensive brush you ever buy is $1.99. Okay, so invest a little more, spend a few extra bucks, and it's going to last you a long time. That's going to do it for us this week, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Mom, thanks for joining us from New Jersey. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Keep painting.